Good luck, kid. Good luck, kid.
Renegade is actually a westernized localization of the Japanese game Nekketsu Kōha Kunio-kun, which came out in Japan in 1985. Renegade didn't get a release until 1986. A lot of the graphics have been changed in the Western version to resemble street thugs more than high school delinquents and Yakuza as in the original Japanese version. Renegade first introduced several trademarks of the beat-em-up genre, including 4-directional control, punch jump kick play action, and enemies which sustain multiple hits. It's considered to be one of the most influential titles of the video game industry, and if you haven't already noticed, it was developed by Technos, the company that would go on to produce Double Dragon.
Giving up already?
With Renegade being a pretty old arcade game, you'd expect it to be pretty good on the Amiga. Haha, don't make me laugh. What should have been a pretty good arcade port is left with horrible controls that don't work right, since the kicks and punches are automatic, which means they very rarely pull off the move you want. The background music from the arcade game is also not really represented in this Amiga version. The game only has one looping track throughout the whole game. And the graphics start off pretty poor, only to become comically bad the further you progress. The Amiga was capable of so much more. I guess you could say this port is kinda acceptable for an Apple II. That doesn't mean it's very good, mind you. At times it's hard to tell if you're hitting anyone or if they're hitting you. It's a total guessing game. The enemy sprites are also comical. They look as if they've come straight from some 5-year-old doodling book. Still, there are 2 buttons used for punch and kick, so that's better than what the Amiga had. For the life of me, I could not work out the controls for the C64 port. It seems your character would only punch and kick when near an enemy, and even then, only when he felt like it. Could this have been an emulation issue, or is the game really like this? Still, it kinda looks okay, I guess. Most of the time, Amstrad arcade ports are slow, unplayable messes. But not this time. Renegade is an amazing port thanks to the skills of programmer Mike Lamb. It plays fast and smooth, has 3-button controls using the keyboard in conjunction with the joystick, where the joystick moves you about while the left and right cursor keys are punch and kick, with the cursor up key being jump. This works so well and could be said to be more fun than the arcade game. When starting up the MS-DOS version of Renegade, you are given the choice of graphical modes, from 4-color CGA to 16-color VGA. There's also a 720x350 Hercules mode too. We're looking at the most common 320x200 16-color VGA mode, along with ad-lib sound. As you can see, it looks reasonable and sounds as you'd expect, but my god, doesn't it play poorly. This port makes the Amiga and ST version seem arcade perfect. Developed in-house by the original arcade's development company, Technos, this Famicom port is more of an enhanced version of the arcade game, featuring a few extra areas here and there. Graphically it kinda looks basic, but maybe that's due to the game being an earlier title for Technos on the Famicom. Developed by Natsume and based upon the Famicom port, but with vastly improved graphics, smoother gameplay and loads of extra neat touches, such as the animated title screen and death animations that has you thrown into a dumpster. Probably the most fun you're going to get out of any port of Renegade. The Atari ST port was programmed by the same person behind the Amiga version, Bill Barner. It's pretty obvious that the Amiga is a port of the ST game, so it comes as no surprise that this version has the same awful controls as the Amiga game, rendering it unplayable. Still, at least it looks a little nicer, not by much though. Stupidly hard, the enemies can take power from you even when you're in a grab, the time it takes to get up from the floor is way too long, controls are unresponsive, but it does have pretty good music. Overall though, this is crap. Funnily enough, it was highly praised when it came out. But that's the ZX Spectrum for you. And let's take a look at all those versions of Renegade running side by side.